Still on time. There you go. There you go. Relax. See everything coming.
Sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this.
It allowed Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just offense.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis is taking his training to an entirely new level, going to war in the gym by sparring with full-fledged heavyweights ahead of his highly anticipated showdown with Jake Paul. Reports from his camp reveal that Davis isn't holding anything back. He's been trading power shots with men who outweigh him by dozens of pounds, and in one intense session, a heavyweight reportedly looked shaken after Tank landed a thunderous counter.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this.
Davis has once again become the talk of the boxing world, this time for his fearless approach to sparring. Known for his explosive power at lightweight and super lightweight, Tank is proving that size doesn't define strength. In recently leaked footage, he's seen tearing through combinations with incredible precision, slipping punches, and firing back with lightning speed. Even larger fighters struggle to keep up with his rhythm. Every session shows just how sharp, focused, and serious he is about this fight. He's not only building power, he's also improving his endurance and adaptability to handle stronger, heavier opponents. That kind of conditioning will be crucial when he steps into the ring with Jake Paul.
Look like you're playing pool with a short stick. Ball in between them, Kev. Punch when he punch, Kev. Punch when he punch. Punch when he punch. Yep. They ain't stopped firing. We slowed down. Now we're going to commence firing again. That's what we do. We reload and come back. Yeah, you ain't got to get close, Tank, because we know you're scared to get close. Get close, Tank. Keep rolling, Kev. All the way down the road. Come to me, baby.
The huge size difference between Davis and his sparring partners, Tank keeps pushing himself against fighters far above his natural weight. But it's not about overpowering them. It's about precision, control, and intelligence. He's mastering distance, timing, and explosiveness under pressure. His coaches explain that these sessions teach him to calculate angles and anticipate movement, key skills for neutralizing Jake Paul's unorthodox, unpredictable style. Davis knows Jake's biggest advantage is size, so by challenging heavyweights, he's removing that psychological barrier early. It's a strategy rooted in discipline and supreme confidence, a way of telling himself that no matter who stands across from him, he's ready.
Here's a clip of Gervonta "Tank" Davis releasing footage of him training and sparring with the heavyweight ahead of his showdown with YouTube sensation turned professional boxer Jake Paul, that's set to take place November 14th in Atlanta, Georgia at the State Farm Arena. Tank Davis is 5'4" and he weighs in at 135. His last fight, he actually was 133 pounds. Jake Paul is 6'1" with a 76-inch arm reach, and he weighed in at 199 pounds his last fight. And fight before that, he weighed in at 224 pounds. Gervonta "Tank" Davis has a 67-inch arm reach. This is why this fight has to be ruled an exhibition and not a real professional boxing match, because no boxing commission would sanction it. Let me know what y'all think about this. As you see, Tank Davis is using and working on movement. Let me know. I'm gone. Peace.
Former UFC star and fight analyst Chael Sonnen has also weighed in, saying Gervonta Davis carries the weight of boxing's credibility on his shoulders in this matchup. Sonnen believes that regardless of Jake Paul's impact on the sport's popularity, it's now on Tank to remind fans what real boxing looks like. For Sonnen, this fight isn't just competition, it's a statement. Tank's mission is to prove that years of hard-earned skill, timing, and true ring IQ will always outweigh viral fame. Sonnen says a knockout in this fight wouldn't just be a win, it would be a message to the boxing world that authenticity still matters in an era dominated by hype.
Which is to let anybody know that's listening
that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched him weigh in, I want to say it was like 8 pounds.
As fight week approaches, the footage keeps coming, and it's clear Davis's preparation is nothing short of brutal. Sparring with heavyweights isn't just for show. His trainers reveal that these are high-intensity sessions designed to make fight night feel easier. The goal is to simulate extreme resistance, forcing Davis to rely on defensive reflexes, precise counterpunching, and efficient power generation against larger frames. Each round boosts his confidence, reinforcing that his timing and accuracy can offset any physical disadvantage. It's an unconventional yet brilliant approach that proves how seriously he's taking Jake Paul as a legitimate threat.
Lucas, film! Lucas, film! Take it up, get that stick, short stick. Go! There you go. There you go, relax, see everything coming. See everything's coming.
Legendary boxing trainer Teddy Atlas has also praised Gervonta Davis's preparation and mindset, calling him one of the most skilled and dangerous fighters in the sport today. Atlas dismisses the narrative that Jake Paul's size advantage will make the difference, insisting that once the bell rings, experience takes over. Tank, he explains, has faced every kind of opponent, counterpunchers, pressure fighters, taller men, slick technicians, and adapted to them all. Jake, on the other hand, simply hasn't faced that level of resistance. Atlas put it bluntly, those wondering what if Jake lands one big punch are missing the point. Davis's composure, timing, and ability to think under fire are what separate a world-class boxer from an entertainer playing the part.
Do have one guy who, yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter, he can punch, and he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger. What if he hits him on the chin? What if he hits him on the chin? It'll wind up selling. And that's what'll wind up selling. The what if. What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're going to find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, do the cha-cha. That's what's going to sell it. And you can't argue that what if. You can't. I know I get to places that other people won't go and everything else, that just dismiss stuff because it's easier to do that, it's safer to do that. You don't have to bows and arrows coming at you from people that argue with you because you did that, but I don't care. I've had bows and arrows my whole life. I don't care. But that's true. That what if? What if this guy who is a real good puncher, who is one of the best fighters in the world right now, what if he hits him? What if he makes a miss and he counters him? Or he jumps up in the air? Bang! and he hits him. Sid Terrace was a great fighter. No, not the 1700s, but years ago. And Cus D'Amato told me he loved Sid Terrace. He said, Teddy, he used to jump up in the air and hit you with 3 jabs. I said, whoa, man, Sid Terrace. All right. Anyway, look, I can't finish without saying that it did invoke some memories and thoughts that we've been here before in a different way, where Jake Paul's brother fought Mayweather. That's not forget. And I'm not saying I like that either. I mean, first of all, Mayweather was past his prime. He was already retired. He was older, everything, but he's still the great Mayweather. And Mayweather was fighting a guy, what was it, 50-pound difference, 60-pound difference, whatever it was. And that size made a difference. It allowed Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just offense.
Sports analyst Max Kellerman offered a more personal take on Gervonta Tank Davis's motivation for accepting the Jake Paul fight. According to Kellerman, this bout isn't just about competition, it's about balance. After years of non-stop training camps, title defenses, and high-pressure bouts, Davis reportedly wanted a fight that combined excitement with financial security. Kellerman explained that Tank has reached a point where he's thinking more about his future, his family, and maintaining mental peace. The Jake Paul fight, he said, represents a transitional phase, a chance for Davis to enjoy the rewards of his career while still reminding the world that when the gloves are on, he's one of the most dangerous fighters alive.
You got a guy like Gervonta, who I personally think has been checked out for way longer than this last fight. I think he was checked out prior to the Roach fight. I thought this was all going to be in the works, where he was supposed to beat the 16-1 Roach and then go on to fight Jake Paul and then call it a career, because I think the people around him understood there wasn't much left in the tank for him in terms of his want or his desire to be here. He did an interview with Dan Canobio about 18 months ago where he was like, yeah, man, I just kind of want to raise my family. I don't know how much left of boxing for me. I don't want to see a therapist. I want to, I need to, but like, I don't want to take away from my fighting. But I think it's time for me to do stuff like that. So I think the writing's been on the wall for Tank for a while. So that draw was kind of just like, I was on the way out anyway. I don't need to go back in there. And I said it at the end of that fight. I'm like, there's no way we see that rematch. He was so uncomfortable in that ring with Roach. He doesn't want to feel that again. He showed that night. So I'm not surprised that fight's not happening. I'm not even surprised he's fighting Jake Paul now. It's a catch.
On the press tour, analysts Chris Mannix and Sergio Mora highlighted the stark contrast in personality between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. Jake, as always, played the showman, loud, confident, and skilled at selling the fight with his words. Davis, in contrast, stayed quiet, calm, and focused, barely engaging in the back and forth. Mannix noted that while Jake knows how to promote a fight, Tank knows how to win one. Mora added that Davis's silence doesn't show weakness, it shows discipline. He's not here to argue, he's here to perform. Both agreed that when the cameras stop rolling and the lights dim, it's Tank's precision, patience, and raw power that will do all the talking.
And even though Jake Paul tried to egg him on and try to goad Gervonta Davis on, he's dealing with somebody that is not a quick-witted, thinker. He's not a quick-witted speaker. Tank Davis is explosive in the ring. He's fast and powerful in the ring. He's charismatic inside the ring when he's punching. But when you put a microphone in front of him, he's not articulate. He doesn't know how to quickly respond to people. He stutters a lot. He does more stuttering than talking. So Gervonta Davis in front of a microphone is not going to sell. So Tank Davis shouldn't be put in a podium like that. He should have speakers for him. He should have someone talking from him. He should have a mouthpiece. Tank Davis is not going to sell this fight. And Jake Paul knows it. That's the reason he kept throwing jabs at him. He tried to get Tank out of his shell. Tank's not quick verbally enough. He's not quick-witted. He's not quick with the tongue. So in order for him to sell this fight, he's going to have an adversary that can spit something back. Like, for instance, Chavez Jr., he didn't have that quick-witted a response, but he had the backing, he had the loyal following. And Chavez Jr., like many Mexicans, don't need to speak because they do all their fighting in the ring, and people know that. Tank Davis, I don't know, man. He didn't look good in his last fight. He's not fighting the killers in his division. People are getting off that Tank train. And we know that he's had his issues outside the ring. The love's not there anymore. Tank Davis is losing a lot of passion, a lot of followers, and people aren't buying this circus that Jake Paul's trying to sell. And I'm glad that people are getting off this train. The commission in Georgia got off this damn train. That's why they had to move this fight to Florida, where anything could happen.
Former world champion Timothy Bradley revealed that Gervonta Davis had limited options before agreeing to face Jake Paul. According to Bradley, Davis initially wanted a rematch with Lamont Roach, but negotiations fell apart due to scheduling conflicts and promotional politics. With few high-profile fights available, the Jake Paul deal became the most viable and lucrative option. Bradley stressed that many fans underestimate how complex these decisions can be, involving timing, management, and broadcast negotiations. He believes that while this fight may seem unconventional, it's a smart move that gives Tank massive exposure and a major payday. In Bradley's words, Tank will make the most of this moment and remind everyone that real boxing still belongs to real boxers.
You know, I do. I'm not making no excuses for Tank at all, but this is just my perspective, man. Tank had no other choice but to do this fight, man. He had no other choice. You know, he was in training for that Lamont Rose fight, and, you know, then the covers got pulled off, you know, and then this fight came about. You know, this is an inside thing, man. I swear, man, I'm telling y'all, this is an inside thing. You know, this is something that Al, PBC wanted Canelo to do, you know, because this is how they eat. This is how they gonna eat. This is how they gonna recoup, you know. As you know, PBC, they got no legs to stand on, man. You know, money going out, not enough money coming in. They got to spend their own bread, you know, for everything, you know, for everything. So, you know, they need money coming in. And their guy, Canelo, left. He with Turkey now. They wanted Canelo to do this fight. And now Tank is obligated to do this fight, man. Again, to save PBC. I promise y'all, man. I'm telling you. You know, Tank was already signed up to fight Roach rematch. He was already signed up, you know. You could just tell, man. I can tell, you know. Yesterday, listening to the press conference, I saw, like, I don't know what it was. It was something with Jalen Love, and it's like a secret. I don't know what that is. It's a secret, though.
After the press conference, some fans began to question whether Gervonta Davis was truly invested in the fight. His quiet demeanor and detached body language stood in sharp contrast to Jake's loud confidence. Some saw that as disinterest, while others interpreted it as supreme focus. The visible size difference between the two fighters also reignited debates about fairness and competitiveness. Still, insiders close to Davis insist that his silence is intentional, part of his mental strategy. Tank doesn't waste words or emotions on theatrics. He saves his energy for when it matters most, inside the ring.
Jake Paul legitimately cooked Gervonta Davis in that press conference, and I really don't know how to feel about that. And to be honest with you, I still don't understand how boxing even allowed this to be made. Like, I don't. Like, dog, this is not an overstatement. Like, literally one of the core pillars holding up boxing is like this literal, like, fake superiority complex that they have over literally every other combat sport, despite literally being the least effective main combat sport there is. Brother, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, brother, I put judo over I put boxing. In terms of practicality of combat, oh yeah, 100%. Brother, if Jake Paul makes it competitive against Gervonta Davis, I'm looking at this like, brother. Oh, well, weight difference, brother. Gervonta Davis has been training his entire life. I'm sorry, bro. It's bad enough that the fact that if this was under any other combat sport, this would literally be like one of the most one-sided matchups of all time. And it wouldn't be in favor of Davis. No, dog, if you did this under an MMA rule set, oh my gosh, bro, Paul cooks Gervonta. It's not close at all. Like round one finish level. Like, understand this, Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul is taking place in literally the only combat sport where Davis should win. I'm still shocked that they allowed it to be made. Because, like, there's no upside. If Jake Paul beats Gervonta Davis, now we're kind of looking like, wait a minute. What? Like, brother, don't forget. I still think it's a horrible look that Tyson Fury couldn't finish Francis Ngannou. That is so bad. Oh, Francis Ngannou's a great boxer. Francis Ngannou, no joke, is one of the worst boxers to ever be in the UFC. He just has absurd power. No, look at the technique of Francis Ngannou. It's not that good. It's carried by power. Like, going into it, like, I'm hyped, but it's also, I'm looking at this like, bro, Gervonta has to finish, bro.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, breakdowns, and insider takes on the biggest stories shaking up the boxing world. Until next time,